What if I told you that most people suck at success because being successful is quite literally the opposite of what the human condition was designed for?
Yeah, in boot camp, you are trained to do the opposite of self-preservation. How do you take 18-year-olds and train them to go into battle instead of running away? I think it's a good metaphor.
Next Level Nation today for episode number 2228. Don't get mad at us, or you can, but channel that anger into progress. Why most people suck at success. Okay, last night, Alan and I recorded until, what time was it last night? 7:20. So we recorded until 7:20. I got a message from a client at like 5:30. I couldn't really do anything with it because we were planning on recording. We finished. I downloaded our files. I uploaded our files. I went into the bedroom and I said to Taryn, I said, I'm either going to have to do one of two things. I'm going to have to stay up until midnight, or I'm going to have to get up at 4. I don't know what to do. And then I went and walked to the kitchen and I thought about it. Then I came back and I said, I have a better idea. I'm going to go to bed at a normal time and then I'm going to get up at midnight. Perfect. And then I'll check on what I need to check on. So we had a client launch their podcast today. We needed some quick edits. One of our team members was going to do it. They're in a different time zone. I messaged them and said, hey, can we do these? If not, I'll do them myself. But I knew I was not going to get a response from them until at least midnight our time. Kind of a shitty place to be because I don't know what's going to happen. So I had this moment.
So midnight our time is noon their time.
Midnight our time. No, so this is somebody else. 9 a.m. their time.
Okay.
9 hours ahead. 9 hours ahead. But I literally was just fucking sad. I was just so sad that I just couldn't go to bed and sleep through the night. I was so sad. So
sorry.
It's okay. My alarm. So I set an alarm for 12:03 a.m. and 12:05 a.m. Slept right through. Right through. Woke up in a panic at 1:20. Look at my watch. 1:20. Shit. 1:20 a.m. So only an hour later.
The reason I laugh real quick,
yeah, please,
is because when you're suffering, you get really funny.
That's my coping mechanism.
100%.
That's the other thing. We didn't talk about this in the trauma response thing. The more overwhelmed I get, the funnier I usually get because I just try to take things. If I take things as serious as I feel them, that's a recipe for disaster. So I try to make things funny.
Yeah, a lot of comedians have a lot of trauma.
Trauma? Yeah, they do. So
they make fun of it because
sometimes you got to. So I wake up 1:20, go out, grab my phone. My phone's never in the bedroom. Get a message from the person. Cool, Kev. Boom, boom, boom. Awesome. I respond. Any questions? Anything you need from me? Any questions? They needed a couple things. So I come into the office at 1:20 in the morning, turn my laptop on. It blinds me because the brightness is all the way up. I got to turn that bad Larry down. I send them the things that they need. I say, are we good to go? Yep, absolutely. Awesome. Appreciate you. You're the best. And then I try to go back to bed. If you've ever woken up in the middle of the night or early in the morning and gone and looked directly at your phone, you're not going to bed. You're not going back to bed. That's not going to fucking happen. So I laid there for a while, tossed and turned. Eventually I fell asleep. Alarm went off at 6. I said, absolutely fucking not. Not a chance. We're doing this today. Slept until 8. Now I feel terrible because I didn't go to the gym and I don't have time to go to the gym. And now I feel like shit about it. All of that to be said, that's why most people aren't successful, because that sucks. And that's not the only time I've done that. I do stuff like that all the time, unfortunately, and it sucks. I think if we want to stay safe and we want to stay certain and we want to have a level of self-preservation, your mind is going to say, honestly, fuck this. This isn't worth it. It's not worth it. And if you ever get to the place where it doesn't feel worth it, you're probably not going to do the thing necessary to maintain that. So that is my early thesis in this episode. Most people suck at success because success is quite literally the opposite of what we were designed to do. And so many of the things that we once had to do to be quote unquote successful, you don't really have to build your own house anymore, and you don't have to hunt for your own food, and it's kind of taken care of. So if you want to stay certain, you're most likely going to stay stuck to a certain degree.
Yeah. What the body and brain are completely designed for from an evolutionary perspective is safety and survival. And once you reach a certain point of success, you don't need it for survival anymore. Like you and I are very fortunate to be way beyond survival needs. Like we both have enough money for food. You didn't need to do what you did last night. And we talked about this in the last episode.
Yeah.
You should. And if you want to grow this company with me, then you have to. But you don't really have to do anything. And I think that's why people suck at success, is because you don't actually have to do it. You can look at anyone at the top of any industry. They didn't have to work that hard.
Yeah.
They really didn't. As a matter of fact, if they were focused on survival, they shouldn't have done that. A lot of the things we've done to get here are reckless. And we talked about that in a previous episode too. And in order to thrive long term, I think that you have to do things that short term are really, really, really difficult. And I think that, I don't know, how many difficult things have we done to get to where we are? You've said this before, and I don't really resonate with this because I disagree with you, but you've said it. Okay, so you have your own business, you make your own schedule for the most part, you work with clients all over the world, you're the podcast guy, we have communities and sub-communities, we are heard in 180 countries, we have 2,200 episodes. When you're at a wedding and you get to say, hey, I'm a successful podcaster, like that's really cool. Mm-hmm. It's really cool. In the beginning it was terrible, but it's cool now.
Yeah.
And I feel that way too. I mean, what we do is very unique and very special. I'm very grateful. And you say, trust me, you wouldn't trade spots.
Mm-hmm.
I would. I'm certain that I'm suffering more than you. Not right now. Not right now. Definitely not right now. Based on that story. But overall, I definitely have. To me, I don't know. I think suffering makes it more meaningful. I think that if it was easy, everybody would do it. I really do it.
But if it's too hard, nobody will.
That's awesome.
But that's what I'm saying is that's why I say, like, I'm telling you, I'll say it at group coaching tonight, the Next Level Podcast Accelerator. You guys can have the keys. You can take over. You can be the producer. You can do it all. You can name the episodes. You can do it. You can coach all the clients. Boom. Most of you would give the keys back. You don't want it. You don't want it. And because I don't think it's good for most people. I don't think, again, I say this all the time. I have lost pieces of myself for sure in this journey. Because the self-preservation thing is not something I'm super focused on. It's like, fuck it, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. I'll figure that out later. But that's how most of my life was.
Yeah, it's worth it though.
I have a deep belief that it is. Yeah. I have a deep
because the
belief that it
alternative
is.
sucks. Pain, and there's all these motivational videos, and they say things like pain only lasts a moment, but champions the championship lasts a lifetime. There's some truth to that,
for sure.
Yeah, like if you suffer for this hour of this 5K or whatever it is, not an hour, 20 minutes, then you get to know for a lifetime that you did that. I think there's some truth to that. I do. I think that it's worth it. All these awards behind me, most people don't love achievement as much as I do, but every one of them took suffering, for sure. There's not an award up here that I didn't have to suffer and do shit other people wouldn't do. To me, I take pride in doing things no one else is willing to do.
What, have you done anything that looking back wasn't worth it?
No. Hold on. Let me give that a second. That was ego. Absolutely not. I'm infallible. Is there anything? No, I regret pouring into relationships as much as I did, though. Yeah. That's my truth is I wish that I had given more focus to my goals and less focus to relationships that are really entitled and selfish. I think it's actually interesting to me how much when I look back at my past, people, they don't mean to be, and this is probably going to come off wrong, but like a lot of people are really self-absorbed. And again, no one likes me with this, but I don't give a fuck if you wish me happy birthday. Like it's not, your world doesn't revolve around me, and it shouldn't. There are bigger problems in the world whether or not you wish me happy birthday. Like that's a very self-absorbed thing to do. Like you didn't wish me a happy birthday. So? Right? Like why are you entitled to that from me? And at the end of the day, I do get it. People want significance. They want to know that they're valued. I'm holding the duality here. But if you really break it down, like it's like, listen, you're supposed to, why do you feel like my most important priority should be you on some day? Like, the world doesn't revolve around you. And it shouldn't, to be honest. And I think that that's a very unique thing to me. So past partners and friends, their expectations, and I realize this, and this will be quick, but one of the reasons people suck at success is because they don't actually know what it really takes. And one of the things that I feel very misunderstood, we have a triad of belonging that we teach in group coaching, and it's feeling seen, understood, and valued. And I think that if you've never really, and I was talking to you about this off air, we get 9 minutes, we got time. I'm looking at my calendar this week, and I woke up this morning and I told him, I said, this is fucking crazy. I said this to her. I said, I know that I say that I'm shooting for an impossible goal. Like, year end, I'm trying to hit a goal that I don't even think is doable by anyone, never mind me. And I like that shit. That's good. That's like what I want to do. I would rather go for it than not. And it's going to be horrible, like horribly bad. And I know that. But here's the problem. In relationships with others, they're going to hear me say that, not know what actually is going into it, and then wonder why I'm not available. And they don't mean to, they just don't get why I'm not available. Because for them, they have so much time and space. I know people that like wake up and they just like, oh, what do I want to do today? Like, that ain't it for me. I can't remember the last time I had a free hour. It's been a long time. So, and that's by design, so you can't feel bad for me. It's like, well, you chose that. So people don't feel bad for people who choose this. And I understand that. I'm not looking for pity. What I am looking for is some fucking understanding. But here's the truth. If you've never set a goal like that, you actually can't understand what it takes. And that's really one of the reasons we suck at success is we just don't fully understand the sacrifice necessary to achieve it. And then we, from a distance, we revere people like a Tom Brady or a Kobe Bryant or whoever. Okay, I use them because people know them and because I've studied their careers. But like, if you actually took the 4-a-days, like wake up at 4, eat breakfast, go to the gym for 3 hours, take a nap, go to the gym again at 1, take a nap, go to the gym again at 4, take a nap, go to the gym again until 9 p.m. every fucking day. Like, if you actually lived that for even a week, you would definitely understand what it's like to do something that's never been done. And this is the last piece of this part. I actually want to do something that's never been done. I'm not talking about it. I'm not shouting it. I wouldn't even talk about it if we weren't having this goddamn topic. I don't even want to fucking talk about it. I want to actually be about it. And me being on this episode is me being about it because this is our podcast. But I want to do something that has never been done in human history. And I intend on that. I'm not like shouting that talk, no walk. I intend on it. Like, I will die trying. And I think that if you don't really have that and you've never tried to do that, you can't possibly understand. So I've really given up on the idea of being understood and valued, which is interesting because in some ways I'm being valued more. I don't get that. That's weird for me. But why do people suck at success? I think that one of the reasons is they are just very ignorant to what it actually takes. Like, you wanted to be Joe Rogan when we first met. You're like, I want to be a podcaster like Joe Rogan. Well, you had no fucking idea what you were actually signing up for.
Nope. And
if you did, you would have not signed on the dotted line. And I think that's the weird paradox of like, if you had known, you wouldn't have done it. But now that you're so far in, you're actually glad you did. It's a weird thing.
It is
weird.
weird.
You explain that.
I mean, I think there's something about being naive at the beginning of something that forces you to dive into water that you can't swim in yet. But then you are like, well, I kind of like this, so I want to figure out how to learn how to swim. Then eventually you just get so used to swimming where it's like you can't imagine doing anything else.
Yeah, and then you miss it when you leave it too. That's
I can't
the weird
imagine.
part. You don't miss the suffering, but you miss. It's almost like the suffering is the tax you pay to be the person you really want to be,
and the fulfillment that comes with it. I think the other thing too, you and I were talking about this, and you'll have the stats way better than I, but something along the lines of the stock market has never decreased over a 20-year period.
Yeah.
So if you put money in the stock market, statistically speaking, historically speaking, in 20 years, it will be worth more than it is today. Like, you will make out on that.
Yeah, there's no 20-year period where you wouldn't have made money.
So I think that's another thing is, I mean, that is a long-ass time. That is a long-ass commitment. 20 years is a long-ass commitment.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why that's a piece of it for sure, is just having the ability to say, okay, I'm going to make a 20-year plan. And again, this is coming from a guy who is not even capable of doing that yet. So I'm not talking down to you on this. This is something I'm working on for sure. But that's a big piece of it.
Well, because people think to themselves, well, what if something were to happen 10 years from now and I couldn't enjoy the 20-year plan?
Understandable.
Well, if that's the case, you're not here anymore, so you don't care. Like, people always say, what if you die tomorrow? FOMO. Not FOMO, YOLO.
YOLO.
You know, you only live once. Well, statistically speaking, you're not going to die tomorrow, depending on where you live. And if you just play the numbers, like just talking about the numbers, people are weird with mortality and fate and all that. When you just look at the numbers, you have to plan. You can't design your future. I read it in the book recently. I forget which one. Thinking in Bets, Annie Duke, I think. She said, if I was going to die tomorrow, I would not pay my fucking taxes.
Right.
I would, I would literally be, I wouldn't say hello to any of my acquaintances. I wouldn't show up for work. Most of what you do on a daily basis that sucks is for a bigger, better, brighter future. Like, think about if you actually only had one day left. Of course, everything would be different. Yeah. I wouldn't fucking show up to this podcast, right? Of course, you can't. I can't stand stupid fucking quips like that are so wildly irrational. It's like, if you only had 6 months to live, of course you would quit your job. Well, what if, rent is still due in a year, and when you're a year out and you quit your job, it's like, oh shit. James Clear has a great quote. He says, knock knock, who's there? Oh, the consequences of all your poor choices. And so at the end of the day, like, the time perspective piece that you just mentioned of, I mean, if you set a 20-year goal, in 20 years, you will arrive, and the future will be the now. And then you'll be like, you'll either be pumped that you planned for it, or you'll be like, oh shit. You know, anyone who's ever had credit card debt knows that feeling. It's like,
of course.
Oh shit.
I thought things were going to be different. I thought things were going to be different in the future. No, they're essentially going to be the same and or worse if you don't do anything different along the way.
Nice.
Again, this is one of those dumb quotes that it's not really, it's not logical, but it sounds good. 5 years are going to pass. Like, the next 5 years, if you're here, the next 5 years are going to pass. You might as well use them to build. Nice. Because they're going to go by no matter what.
What did you use to think about that? This is a new Kev.
It still doesn't land, though, fully. Because it's like, in my mind, conceptually, I understand that sounds, it makes sense.
Why doesn't it land fully?
Because 5 years is a long fucking time.
I think about that all the time. I think about, I'm 36, I'm going to be 46. What do I want my life to look like?
Your time perspective.
56, what do I want my life to look like?
That takes a time perspective.
5
years is a really long time.
I don't know.
For most people.
It all depends, yeah.
But for most people, it is.
Yeah.
For most people.
Yeah. I understand, but it's all relative. But real quick, so in 10 years, you're going to be 46.
Yeah.
So you think about, like, what you want your life to look like, right? Mm-hmm. This is just a normal thing. And then you just go back into the present and go, oh, shit. So
I think it's a normal thing to imagine what life is going to be like in X amount of years. It's not a normal thing to predict and then create. Those are two very different things.
Yeah. I hope for everyone that your life trends up.
Yeah.
That over time, like, there's going to be dips, and I was going to use season. You know, we're in a grind season. Q4 is brutal so far.
I feel like the last 5 years have been a grind season.
It's been tough. Yeah, but it's all relative, right? Like, this is worse than usual, right? I mean, this is bad.
It's all kind of mending together at this point. You know, I don't know.
Mending together.
I
don't think we're mending anything. Kev's got a broken foot just dragging along the side. We got to go here, but real quick, what I hope for everyone is that it trends up over time.
Yeah.
Like, I would much rather you go from red to yellow to green than from green to yellow to red. Because one of them you're losing over time. The other one you're gaining. And that's what I think is so wonderful about you and I starting from such poor beginnings, is not just poor financially, but poor in general, because it's just always trends up over time. It's not hard to go up when you're, start where we did. So.
Yeah, when you start low. Well, the last thing I'll say, the last hard truth for this is it doesn't trend up unless you make it. Yeah. Most likely things just don't get better by accident. They just don't. Like so many. Imagine going up to a lock and saying like, fuck it, I'll guess it. And then it goes. There's no way. The probability of that is so low. But if I gave you one number, you're a little bit closer. If I said the numbers are between this and this, this and this, this and this, you're closer. So it's not going to get better by accident. Almost nothing does. It just doesn't work that way unless you get super lucky, and most of us are not super lucky. All right, cool. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And if you are as committed as you say you are to getting to the next level, make sure you tune in tomorrow because we will be here every single day to help you get there.
Keep reaching for your full potential. Next Level Nation.